How's everyone doing? Today I have a Blu-ray update with 9 pickups, and if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. There's one DVD and one 4K title in here as well. And first up, we'll talk about the 4K title, which is Star Wars The Last Jedi, which, holy moly, this received a ton of criticism. Just pure vitriol and hatred towards it. I was shocked. I think this seemed to get just as much hatred as the prequels. And I think this is far better than the prequels. I think people should give it another chance as well. There were some things that I didn't care for about the film, but I definitely think I seem to enjoy it more than a lot of people. I think they definitely misutilized a lot of characters. Captain Phasma, Snoke, I thought that was... I don't want to, if you haven't seen it, want to give it away, but there's a lot to enjoy here, I think, personally. I liked what they were doing, something a little bit different. I think there was a lot of backlash for it. But overall, I thought the presentation for this, if you're a fan, it was amazing. Disney is killing it with their 4K Ultra HD releases, the transfers. I thought the Blu-ray looked really good as well. I did a comparison of it, and I think it is, the 4K is definitely, you can see the difference, the clarity, the little nuances throughout, the little detailing, the coloring pops a little bit more. So it is definitely a nice upgrade over the 1080p Blu-ray. I think Disney's one of the best out there doing the 4K Ultra HD releases, and I hope they go back and do the whole catalog. I always wanted to see Doctor Strange get a 4K Ultra HD release. I think with the visuals in there, it would really pop. But it has a ton of special features in here, and like I said, if you're a fan of the film, this is a phenomenal release for it as well. And I would hope that some of the detractors would give it another chance, watch it again. It's definitely much better than the prequels, at least in my opinion. I'm definitely happy with this release. And next up is, I know there's more stuff I want to say about this. I'll talk about it a little bit more in the future too, but the hyperdrive scene, there's a lot of criticism about that too, but there's things here and there. But overall, even though, it's not a perfect film by any means, again, the first 3 are by far the original trilogy are by far my favorites. Let me know, your favorite in order of the Star Wars films. And next up is, this was exciting. This is from Paramount. This is Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke 40th anniversary, first time on Blu-ray. I remember watching this all the time as a kid, in fact. I didn't, fully grasp a lot of the stuff. But I remember Stacy Keach in particular getting the munchies at the end. I thought that was great. And this looks better than I ever remember it looking. It's interesting. I checked out some of the special features on here already. They had how Pedro met the man Up in Smoke 40 years later with Cheech and Chong. And also has the director in here too, Lou Adler. So they were just talking to them. But I wish there was a little bit more. I thought it was very funny at the end. There's like a joke at the finalization of that interview talking about how Tommy Chong's wife was saying, we have to renew the life insurance. How long should we do it for? And they were kind of joking, because they're so much older. Yeah, it seemed like they spliced in a lot of footage from the movie into the interview. So I kind of wanted more of the interview, because I want to say at least half of it of the interview was actually scenes from Up in Smoke, which was cool to do at parts, but I just wish it was cool to hear them talk and hear them, talk about how the set and how they worked with Robert Altman's crew, film-wise, and how they went through 3 cinematographers, and how I think they filmed this in like 30 days or something like that they were saying. So there's a lot of interesting stuff and a lot of stuff that they kind of made up during filming, especially the scene with the roommate and stuff in the van while they're, the sex noises and stuff. I thought that was very funny. That was kind of an impromptu thing that they did. So I thought that was pretty cool. So if you're a fan, this is an amazing release. Some really good special features on here too. You've got, again, the interview, which was really good. You've got some deleted clips, commentary, another looking back, animated music video, vintage radio spots. So a whole bunch of goodies on here. A nice Blu-ray DVD digital HD combo pack. I like the slipcover for it. Great job from Paramount. A classic stoner comedy movie right there, Cheech and Chong. It's great to see a lot of their Cheech and Chong movies coming out to Blu-ray now. Long overdue. Next up is two Arrow video releases right here. This one is from the Arrow Academy line. It's Sleeping Dogs, starring Sam Neill, directed by Roger Donaldson. This is apparently New Zealand New Wave cinema. This basically puts Sam Neill and then the director Roger Donaldson on the map. Roger Donaldson directed Cocktail with Tom Cruise, Species, Dante's Peak, No Way Out, a few other things too. So he's got a good resume going on, and this was apparently Sam Neill's first lead in a feature, so that's pretty cool. This one I'm really looking forward to checking out. It's apparently it's adapted from a novel, but he trying to see where he basically he's trying to, his marriage is falling apart, so he kind of goes to this isolated island, and then there's a martial law on the island after an oil embargo, and he gets involved in that. So it's like they say it's a political thriller, personal drama, and a true landmark in New Zealand cinema. So excited for that. I've seen some really good New Zealand films. There's another company called Film Movement that put out two really good ones. Quiet Earth, which is a great post-apocalyptic film, and then Once Were Warriors, which is another really amazing film. I would highly recommend both of those for New Zealand cinema. And really good releases from Film Movement. I think that's a company that doesn't get quite enough love, but they've had some really good releases. But Arrow Video is one of the best companies out there releasing. I say this every time, and I'm going to continue saying it every time when I talk about Arrow Video. If you're a physical media fan, if you collect Blu-rays, then you know this already. It's one of the best companies out there. I'm so happy that they're releasing here in the U.S., and their Arrow Academy line is finally coming over. And I still say this too, I think Suture would have been well suited to be their first in their Arrow Academy line for the U.S. Really good modern black and white film that I would definitely recommend too. But they do a great job with their transfers, the special features, even the packaging. You got newly commissioned artwork, reversible artwork, clear cases, a booklet, disc artwork. It's all around incredible. Great packaging, release, complete total package. But yeah, if the booklets I always love. It gives you behind the scenes, cast information, shots, all kinds of information. They talk about the transfer as well. And here is the other artwork right there. A lot of times I find it hard which one to choose. I think that's pretty cool color scheme wise, but I dig that too. I think I'm going to go with the newly commissioned artwork. It's very foreboding right there with Sam Neill on the cover. Let me know what your favorite Sam Neill movie is. I mean, from Jurassic Park. I think Daybreakers was really underrated. Vampire movie, horror, sci-fi. But he's been in so many different films. The Hunter was another one with Willem Dafoe, and he was in that one too that I really liked. But next up is another Arrow video release, A Pistol for Ringo and the Return of Ringo, two films by Duccio Tessari. And this is kind of one of the more popular spaghetti westerns, and it spawned like a whole bunch of like spin-off ones, unofficial sequels. So this is both of those films are on one disc right there, and really nice thick booklet in this one. And trying to show it looks like it's going to be very I know there's some of the actors have been in Day of Anger and a few other recognizable westerns, and so looking forward to checking this one out. Really a thicker booklet than normal on that one, and I'll go ahead and show you the reversible artwork, which I don't like that artwork quite as much. This one is way better looking in my opinion as far as that. So that one, that one was a clear choice. A lot of times it's hard to choose which one is better for newly commissioned or the original, but the newly commissioned one I think definitely appeals to me more on that. And then next up from Time Life, we've got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in concert. There was 53 performances in here, and they have some of the highlights from the 2014, 15, 16, and 17 induction ceremonies. You got Bruce Springsteen, Pearl Jam, Journey, Cat Stevens, Ringo Starr's on here. You have full, complete Hall of Fame induction speeches from Coldplay's Chris Martin inducting Peter Gabriel, Metallica, Lars Ulrich inducting Deep Purple. Just a ton of great performances in here. Bruce Springsteen, Bill Withers, Cat Stevens, Cheap Trick, Chicago, Green Day's on here, Peter Gabriel, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, the surviving members of Nirvana, Paul McCartney, Joe Walsh, Stevie Wonder, just goes, the list goes on and on. Beck's in here too. You got a few newer people. Yeah, so that's pretty amazing. So many performances. I'm excited to check this out. You got a booklet in here as well, and you've got 2 discs in there. So this has 674 minutes. So if you are into you know, rock and roll and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and live music, I think this, I've seen clips already, but I'm looking forward to delving more into it. But from what I've seen, it looks amazing, and it looks like they put a lot of great time and effort in here. Time Life does an excellent job with a lot of the releases too, so very cool. I'm excited to check that out. And next up from Warner Archive Collection, which I'm loving what they're doing too, is the Black Scorpion. Great stop motion animation, 50s, I think it was 1957. You know, that horror sci-fi elements during that whole period. You know, giant creature features. It's a giant killer scorpions, essentially. It's set in Mexico, and after earthquakes and volcanoes, there's a crack in the ground, and these giant scorpions come out and start terrorizing Mexico, and they're trying to figure out how to stop them. There's one giant black scorpion who's killing some of the other scorpions and has this bloodlust and going crazy. And there's a close-up shot shown multiple times of the scorpion's face, like the drooling, and that is creeptastic. Probably the best part is when they go into the cavern underneath, where they see the layer of scorpions, and you get like a worm, and you get like a spider down there, and you see them attacking those other animals, and a couple of people are down there trying to figure out what's going on and get a better idea of it. And I thought it was very entertaining. If you like those kind of, you know, creature features from the 50s and the stop motion animation, and the special features in here are really good. That's one of the things that I appreciate a lot about this release from Warner Archive. You've got a stop motion masters with Ray Harryhausen. You hear a lot about how he got involved in the things that he worked on, and how, you know, King Kong essentially inspired him. And footage of the Las Vegas Monster and Beetlemen, which were both not that great. There's quick shots of those little scenes of those characters and creatures, and then Harryhausen animated dinosaur sequence from Irwin Allen's 1956, the Animal World. Sorry, Animal World was showing all the different dinosaurs and stuff like that attacking each other. I think they took it out because they thought it was too violent. But this is some of the effects on here were done with by Willis O'Brien, who also worked with co-designed King Kong for the special effects back then. So I dug the heck out of it. If you like those kind of you know, creature features from the 50s, you know, the stop motion, you know, it has its cheesy appeal to it as well. But I like that stop motion. I don't know, it just brings me back to when I was a kid watching a lot of it on TV and stuff. Next up is City of the Dead Limited Edition. This is from VCI, and I had the old school DVD, which I highly prefer this title, Horror Hotel, and I dig this cover. It's the same cover, essentially different color scheme. This is like a rainbow kind of thing. I don't dig it. This one I like the color scheme way better, but the transfer is key here. Definitely looks way cleaner, way better. This is a new 2K film transfer restoration. It has feature-length commentary track by Christopher Lee, video interview with Christopher Lee, and then original theatrical trailers with special features. But I dig that title and cover better. That's the old DVD. I really enjoy this one. I think it's very atmospheric. It blows by. It's a quick film. I'm trying to remember how long. 78 minutes. So it goes by super quick. I actually wish this was extended. I wish it had more to it. But Christopher Lee is a teacher, and one of his students is studying, like, wants to do her paper on, like, witchcraft, and he recommends to go to this town and go stay at this inn. I think it's like the Raven's Inn or something like that. And basically in this small town that the witches are still alive. It's the spirits of these witches, and it's like Candlemas Eve, I think. And so she gets kind of like trapped there, and some of her family members try to go and save her. And Christopher Lee's awesome, younger Christopher Lee, right there. But I would definitely recommend the heck out of this one. Black and white, super atmospheric. You get the fog rolling in. You get the witches. You get kind of like the throwback to that style. And, you know, the spirit of them coming back. And again, this is one that I wanted. It's very atmospheric and very well done. But I kind of wish it was longer. I was like, I want more from it. Yeah, again, the special features on here, the transfer on here, I think this is the best it's looked and the best release for it. This is their limited edition City of the Dead. And then next up from Welgo USA is Along with the Gods, The Two Worlds. This is apparently based on a popular webcomic, and it's about a firefighter who passes away unexpectedly and taken to the afterlife by three guardians, where he has to, after only passing he has to go through 7 trials and proving he lived a noble life. Then will he only be able to be reincarnated. So, sounds interesting. The visuals look stunning from the clips that I've seen, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. It's a longer movie. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. But, yeah, the visuals so far from what I've seen look amazing. So, I'm excited to check that one out. I like the concept as far as, afterlife and things like that. So, intriguing. And then the sole DVD right here, this is from Paramount. This is Tad, the Lost Explorer, and The Secret of King Midas. This is actually a sequel. I remember seeing the first one a while ago, and I thought it was decently entertaining. It's geared mostly towards kids. They're family-friendly animated movies. The animation is okay. It's decent. It's not something that's going to blow your mind away, but it's not bad either. The voice acting from the first one, the actors on there, I really enjoyed. I don't think they have a lot of the same people coming back. I know Ariel Winter, who I think was in the first one, voice acting wise, but it's the same kind of thing, adventure kind of movies with hijinks and stuff like that. So I am looking forward to checking it out because I did enjoy the first one for what it is, and I felt the same thing about the Star Wars Last Jedi. I was like, I enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah, so another adventure movie. I'll be talking about this more in depth and the other ones as well that I haven't seen once I do view them. So look forward to more in depth on some of these ones coming up. And if you've seen any of these movies, let me know what you think of them, and let me know what is your favorite from this pickup. And do you hate The Last Jedi? I feel like I've heard like 90% hatred for this. It's kind of crazy. The slipcover is really nice. I don't think it's fully picking up. It's got the embossing and some little bit of a foil effect. Goes around on the back too. So again, if you're a physical media collector and fan, I think you'll appreciate those nice little added touches. I don't think the foil effect is really picking up on here, but it looks really cool. And I dig it. And again, I can't wait to see what Disney does for their 4K Ultra HD releases. Let me know what you think next Disney should release on 4K Ultra HD. Leave me a comment or video response down below. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care.